Let's talk about les pronoms possessifs. Before starting this topic, we'll talk about les adjectifs possessifs. You know what les adjectifs possessifs are, right? Remember mon, ma, mes, ton, ta, tes, son, sa, ses, notre, non, votre, vos, and leur. So they talk about belonging, right? It belongs to whom? My, your, his, her, our, their. Okay. So accordingly, we use adjective possessive. Then what is pronopossessive? Pronopossessive also talks about belonging. Okay. L'appartenance. So what is the difference? It is a prono. So prono always replaces a noun. Okay. So if there's a noun that is being repeated and it is accompanied by a an adjective possessive, then we use pronopossessive. Ultimately, if it's being repeated, a noun is being repeated, and it talks about a belonging, it belongs to someone, then we replace that noun with a pronopossessive. Okay, so c'est pour éviter la répétition d'un nom, but not just any noun, accompanied by a adjective possessive. Okay, now how? We'll take a few examples, but you should know which pronopossessive we have before jumping to the examples. Okay, so pronopossessive depend on the gender and plurality. Again, masculin singulier, féminin singulier, masculin pluriel, féminin pluriel. Okay, so this depends on the noun that it replaces. Okay, the gender and the plurality of that noun. And obviously, it depends on who it belongs to, right? It's mine, yours, his, her, ours, yours again, and theirs. So, this is how we determine which one to use. And what are pronopossessive here? Which ones? Le mien. Remember, we have article défini with it. Always. Le mien, la mienne. Les miens, just add an S. Les miennes. You know that if something ends in ia and we want to change it to femina, so it changes to en. It's the same thing here. Okay. And for plural, just add an S. Then by changing a letter, we get the form for tu. Le tien. La tienne. Les tiens. Les tiennes. Again, we just change a letter. Le sien. La sienne. Les siens. Les siennes. Okay. And here it is le nôtre but with an accent. La nôtre and les nôtres. Okay. Similarly, with an accent, le vôtre, la vôtre, and les vôtres. Okay. And here, le leur, la leur, and les leurs. Okay, that is the list. That is the table for different pronopossessive. Now, how do we use them in a sentence? Prenons des exemples. Okay, first one. Je n'ai pas de portable. I don't have a phone. Je peux utiliser ton portable. So, is there a repetition? Yes. Portable is being repeated. And here we'll replace it. How do we replace it? Yes, we use pronopossessive because it has adjective possessive before it. So it tells us about belonging. So we cannot use any other pronoun here. Okay. I have to use or we have to use only pronopossessive. Because I want to say something like this. I don't have a phone. Can I use yours? Right? Instead of repeating and saying, can I use your phone? No. Can I use yours? That will be simpler. So that is our final answer. Ton portable, okay, remplacé par le tien. Why le tien? Why not la tienne, les tiens, les tiennes? Because here it's portable, and you know portable is masculine. It ends in e, but it's an exception. So portable is masculine and it's being replaced. So we'll use le tien to replace it. Voilà, c'est tout. Then, ils ont complété leur devoir. Nous n'avons pas complété nos devoirs. They completed their homework. We haven't completed our homework. So again, here's a repetition. So we'll have to replace it. But you know that it belongs to someone. So it is accompanied by no, which is adjective possessive. So I can replace it with pronoun possessive. In fact, I have to replace it with pronoun possessive. Which one? It belongs to nous. So it has to be something from here. And devoir, you can see it is pluriel. So we'll use les nôtres. Voilà, c'est tout. Okay, so it will be les nôtres. Ok, d'accord. Après, troisième exemple. Julie n'est pas contente de son résultat. Okay, Julie is not happy with the result. Mais je suis contente de mon résultat. But I'm happy with my result. So again, a repetition with adjective possessive. So we'll use pronoun possessive to replace it. So we'll have le mien because again, this is masculine singulier. For that, we use le mien. And obviously, it belongs to me. So I'll use mien form and not the others. And here, you know the rule, de plus le, article contracté. So it will be du mien. Okay. Contraction happens anywhere you see them together. Okay. D'accord, c'est tout ici. Maintenant, quatrième. Yeah. Ma maison est plus proche du café que votre maison. Yes. So here, what is the repetition? Maison. Okay. Does it talk about belonging? Yes. Your house. Okay. So we have to replace it with pronom possessive. Okay. And maison, you know, it's féminin. So we'll use féminin singulier form. It's maison singular. So we'll use la vôtre. Okay. So my house is nearer to the cafe than yours. That's how it is. Okay. Let's take a couple of examples a little different. Il ne comprend pas ma langue, mais je comprends sa langue. Yes. So here, langue is being repeated. Okay. And obviously, it tells us about the belonging. So we have to use pronoun possessive. The word possessive itself tells, okay, who possesses it or it belongs to whom. Okay, that's why we use adjective possessive and pronoun possessive to talk about the belonging. Now, sa langue. So it belongs to him or her. So we have to use something from this row. Which one to use? Long. We are replacing long. So it is femina singulier. We'll use la sienne. Okay. La sienne. Okay. So he doesn't understand my language, but I understand his. And let's take one last example. Ce sont nos livres. These are our books. Where are their books? So here you can see répétition c'est livre. Okay, and it belongs to them. So which one will we use? It's plural. Okay, and here there's only one form in plural, so les leurs. Les leurs. C'est ça. Okay. These are our books. Where are theirs? That's how pronoun possessive are used. Okay, and that's it. C'est tout. Merci beaucoup.